So I did this whole unboxing and test of this Razer Kishi mobile controller, and I find out while editing that for some reason my camera didn't record any audio for any of the clips I made. So instead of just trying to do the whole thing all over again, I'm just gonna do a voiceover just to go over some of the things that I found while using this product. Now, I originally bought it for a number of reasons. Well, it was on sale for like 50 bucks and it had about $20 off at Best Buy. So I only got it for like 30 bucks or so, a little around $30. And I bought it for a few games I wanted to play on it, like, both cloud gaming and games on Google Play. I was trying to play San Andreas, but apparently, for some reason, San Andreas doesn't work on Android phones with the newest Android update for whatever reason. So I couldn't test San Andreas for this video, but I did try Castlevania Symphony of the Night from Google Play, and I also tried a few games from Game Pass. Um, I also mentioned in the video that I have kind of like this inside joke with my Xbox friends that I play online with, because we try to find a right time for everyone to be online together, but people get home late from work and different times. So we made a joke about having someone with this so they can play Xbox with us on the way home from work. But like I said, it was on sale and I got another discount on top of that. So first impressions with the unboxing, very small package, very simple. You just get like paperwork, some stickers, and the actual controller. The controller separates with those two buttons in the back. The only problem I had is the part that rests behind your phone kind of has some pins pointing up. Not sharp pins, but it is kind of a worry if they're going to be pressed against the back of your phone and maybe scratch up the back of your phone, because you can't use a case with this controller. It's not going to fit. So you also have to take the phone out of the case to use this product. Aside from that, there was a couple of things with the buttons I wanted to mention. The L2 and R2 buttons more specifically. It's not that they feel cheap. It's just that they feel kind of like spongy or like springy, not in a good way. So it does have a weird feeling for the L2 and R2. Also, the D-pad does feel a little bit weird. But everything else seems to work pretty great. The analogs move pretty good. The buttons are pretty good. It took me a while to find the difference between the home button and the select button, because they're start and select are in like different locations. One is above the other one, so it's kind of weird to press the right button. But aside from that, very simple setup. You plug the phone in and you're good to go. You can see right here trying to load San Andreas and it just wouldn't work. I even tried uninstalling and reinstalling, clearing the cache, everything. Turns out the game just doesn't work currently for Android, which is a bummer because I have it on my iPad, but I can't connect an iPad to that controller. It's just not going to fit. But that's where I'm going to stop on that point of the video, and I'm going to go into some of the gameplay experiences. So here I'm testing Symphony of the Night, and I had to reset the game because at first it wasn't responding to the controller, but as you can see now, it is responding to the controller. There may be times where the phone isn't exactly connected the way it should, and so it won't work, so you have to make sure it's really secured and placed in. But aside from the little screen frame that we have there, because I was trying to look at the phone without moving the camera too much, but the game actually performed really well with this controller. The box says it's very low latency. I'm assuming that's only for certain games and certain features, like if you're gonna do like PlayStation Remote Play, or if you're gonna do cloud gaming. And I'll talk about that in a bit when I get to the cloud gaming. But for the most part, when you're playing these Android games, these Google Play games, it works fine. And I'm looking to see what other games does use controller support. I know Modern Combat is like the mobile Call of Duty, and they have controller support. And you have other games like Grand Theft Auto would have been fine. I believe 3 and Vice City are also compatible with controllers. So I would have to purchase those. Maybe purchase Max Payne as well. And Bully to see if those work. I'm just afraid that they won't start up the way that San Andreas wouldn't start up. But for the most part, like I said, it worked really well. With the mobile game, it was mostly comfortable to hold the controller. You can tell obviously it's not as big or as comfortable and as thick as the Xbox controller, but it was mostly comfortable for the most part. That right there behind the phone is what I was talking about earlier with the pins that might be pressed against your phone. Uh, just to be aware that if you press on the back too much, if you hold the middle of the phone, you are kind of pressing the pins towards your phone. So you don't want to have that damage because, like I said, you can't use a case with this product. So I'm actually going to go now and show you some of the experiences with some of the Xbox games through cloud gaming. So let me start by saying that I've had people tell me that they can play Xbox on the go for like road trips and all that, as a way to argue against me about why Xbox has cloud gaming and why they're superior. And honestly, you really can't play Xbox on the go because number one, you need good internet connection for it to work. I don't know how well a 5G phone will work for cloud gaming. I don't have a 5G phone, but I have gigabyte levels of internet, and I had a couple of problems here and there. I also want to point out that the cloud gaming is still in beta. You even saw right in the beginning of this clip there was a beta message that came up. Also, with the app itself, it was a pain in the ass to navigate to the game I was trying to play because instead of showing me available games that have cloud gaming support like it normally would, it gave me a list of every game I ever downloaded and purchased. So it was a pain in the ass to get to Forza. But since we're at this point now, I only really had one issue with Forza towards the end where it started to have some really low frame rate and some lag. Because as you know, as you're aware, you are playing these games from the cloud. It's not like you're downloading it to your phone and playing it from there. If you could, that'd be freaking amazing. But you are streaming these games from the cloud, and you do have to try to find a good internet connection for you to do this. If there was a support to plug an Ethernet to your phone, I don't know if there is options for that, but if there was, that would be pretty cool. But you can see here, so I'm going to start off playing. I had to turn the music off because I was assuming my camera was going to record audio, and I don't want copyright. But here I go, start driving, currently using the Koenigsegg. And it might be a bit difficult to see the screen right now because of how bright the gameplay was. But aside from the camera using poor quality with the phone screen, the game actually looked pretty good. I think it also depends on what kind of phone you have and how good the screen of your phone is. But it worked for the most part. I didn't try any races. I was just driving around the city, to see how well it performed. And for the most part, like I said, it performed pretty well. But that's probably because I have really good internet. And I think it also depends on how much is happening in the game. I will talk about that in the next clip I'm going to show you. But for the most part, I was driving. I was, having good connection. I don't know how well it'll work with online chat, party chat, while using this because for some reason my Xbox app also doesn't allow me to party chat. It just doesn't work for me. So I do have to test that out later on to see how well it works. But for the most part, it was working. Just another quick note, there is a USB-C port on the bottom of the controller so that you can charge your phone while playing the game. So that's pretty cool. So the next game that I decided to try was Batman Arkham Knight. And earlier when I mentioned about how certain games might not work as properly depending on what's happening on screen, I did get an example of that while playing Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight does have an open world map, and there is a lot of characters, and in the map, all these criminals on the streets that you can fight. So at one point in the game, that'll come up pretty soon or so, I was gliding through the air, and I had a major lag. I think it was actually from gliding to driving, and I had a major lag happening very briefly though. It was for about 2 seconds or so. There's actually was a moment up here, I believe, that happened when I was flying. There was like a little bit of lag. Right there, you can kind of see it kind of stuttering a little bit. I don't know how noticeable it was on camera, but it was pretty noticeable for me. But like I said, when you have that good internet connection, you could be playing Batman on your phone. Now, I don't know how this works with PS4 remote play or PS5 remote play. I can only imagine that it should work. Because I would like to try to play Spider-Man on this. But if it doesn't work, we got Batman, so that's pretty cool. I didn't test the combat. It was more so just to test how the map works with cloud gaming and driving around the city and gliding around the city. It might actually be around here where I had the major issue with lag. So I'm gonna try to see if that comes up here after I got to the Gotham PD. And again, I'm sorry for the quality that the camera puts off here. It really doesn't look this bad. Right there, you can see all that stuttering and lag right there. So one of the things that came to mind about buying this product is how useful would it be when playing emulators? And I do think it'll work really well with emulators. My only problem is I once had a PlayStation 1 emulator on a Sony phone back when it took micro SD cards, and it somehow corrupted my card. I tried using Windows, Mac, and Linux to try to reformat it, get it back to working condition. I tried myself as well as other people I know from IT, and we just couldn't get the card to work. So you got to be careful with that. I do know that the most common emulators are like Game Boy Advance emulators, especially for mobile devices. I would like to find like a PS2 emulator to play certain games on my phone from PS2, but it's not easy to find as far as I know. And it's gonna probably cost a lot more space to put those games. And I can probably buy a PS2 for like, I believe the cheapest one I've seen is like 40 to 80 bucks roughly. We have a Goodwill near us or something like that. They sell them. But like I said, if you want to try emulators on this, this would be great for Pokemon because it's a very simple emulator to do. The final test I did here was Injustice 2. And when I mentioned earlier about how certain games could probably work less, more poorly because of how much is going on. When I was playing Injustice 2, the only issue I had was after I won, it started to have a little bit of lag within the victory screen. But for the entire fight, it was completely fine. There was no issues here at all. I don't know if Mortal Kombat 11 does have the cloud gaming option, which is weird because Injustice 2 clearly has it, as you can see. So it was very interesting to see how well the cloud gaming supported Injustice 2. Just so you can see how much ass I kicked as Harley Quinn. It's a little fact about me. That's one of my favorite characters from DC. But like I said, this is a pretty interesting product. It was on sale for about 50 bucks, which I think is a better deal than the full price of, I think it's like $80 or $90 roughly. Especially if you have money, discount money from Best Buy, like I did, I had $20 off on Best Buy, so I got it even cheaper. If you can see right there on the top, there was a little icon that showed internet issues. But like I said, pretty decent product so far, and handled pretty well. It held up pretty nice so far. It's a very small, compact thing, so you can put it in your bag and take it with you. But like I said, you need that good internet or that good connection for these games to work flawlessly. That being said, that's my video for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to bring more content for Xbox for you guys as well. I'm Anthony Olan Tech, and I will see you guys next time.